The Nizam-ul-Mulk of Hyderabad, popularly known as the Nizam of Hyderabad, was a monarch of the Hyderabad state, now divided into the states of Telangana, Karnataka and Marathwada region of Maharashtra. Nizam, shortened from Nizam-ul-Mulk, meaning administrator of the realm, was the title of the sovereigns of Hyderabad state, since 1724, belonging to the Asaf Jah dynasty. The Asaf Jah dynasty was of Tajik origin from the region around Samarkand in modern-day Uzbekistan. The dynasty was founded by Mir Qamar-ud-Din Siddiqi, a viceroy of the Deccan under the Mughal Empire from 1713 to 1721. He intermittently ruled after Aurangzeb's death in 1707. In 1724, Mughal control lapsed, and Asaf Jah declared himself independent in Hyderabad. Following the decline of the Mughal power, India saw the rise of Maratha Empire. The Nizam himself saw many invasions by the Marathas, which resulted in the Nizam paying a regular tax, Chauth, to the Marathas. The major battles fought between the Marathas and the Nizam include Palkhed, Udgir, Rakshasbhuvan, and Kharda, in all of which the Nizam lost. In 1903 the Berar region of the state was separated and merged into the central provinces of British India, to form the Central Provinces and Berar. In 1947, at the time of the partition of India, Britain offered the 566 princely states in the subcontinent the option of acceding to either India or Pakistan, or remaining independent. Hyderabad was the largest and most prosperous of all princely states in India. It covered 82,698 square miles, 214,190 square kilometers, of fairly homogeneous territory and had a population of roughly 16.34 million people, as per the 1941 census, of which a majority, 85%, was Hindu. Hyderabad state had its own army, airline, telecommunication system, railway network, postal system, currency, and radio broadcasting service. In spite of the overwhelming Hindu majority, Hindus were severely underrepresented in government, police, and the military. Of 1,765 officers in the state army, 1,268 were Muslims, 421 were Hindus, and 121 others were Christians, Parsis, and Sikhs. Of the officials drawing a salary between Rs.600–1,200 per month, 59 were Muslims, 5 were Hindus and 38 were of other religions. The Nizam and his nobles, who were mostly Muslims, owned 40% of the total land in the state. The Nizam decided to keep Hyderabad independent, unlike the other princely states, most of which acceded to India or to Pakistan voluntarily. The leaders of the new Indian Union did not want an independent, and possibly hostile, state in the heart of their new country, and were determined to assimilate Hyderabad into the Indian Union, by force if necessary. In September 1948, in Operation Polo, the Indian Army marched into Hyderabad, deposed the Nizam, and annexed the state into the Indian Union. 7 Nizams ruled Hyderabad for 2 centuries until 1947. The Asaf Jahi rulers were great patrons of literature, art, architecture, and culture, and rich food. The Nizams patronized foreign Persian art, Persian architecture, and Persian culture, which became central to the Hyderabadi Muslim identity. The last Nizam had been the richest man in the world in his time. The Nizams also developed the railway, and the introduction of electricity, developed roads, airways, irrigation, and reservoirs. In fact, all major public buildings in Hyderabad city were built during his reign under the British Raj. He pushed education, science, and establishment of Osmania University. The Asaf was a dynasty of Tajik origin from the region around Samarkand in modern-day Uzbekistan. They came to India in the late 17th century, and became servants of the Mughal Empire. As the Mughals were great patrons of Persian culture, language, literature, the family found a ready patronage. Origin of the title. Nizam-ul-Mulk was a title first used in Urdu around 1600 to mean governor of the realm or deputy for the whole empire. The word is derived from the Arabic language, as in, Abu Ali Hassan ibn Ali Tasi, April 10, 1018 October 14, 1092, better known by his honorific title of Nizam al-Mulk, Arabic, Order of the Realm, Nizam, meaning order, arrangement. The Nizam was referred to as Allah Hadrat/Allah Hazrat or Nizam Sarkar, meaning His Exalted Highness. Rise of the Nizams. The first Nizam ruled on behalf of the Mughal emperors. After the death of Aurangzeb, the Nizam split from the Mughals to form an independent kingdom. When the British achieved paramountcy over India, the Nizams were allowed to continue to rule their princely states as client kings. The Nizams retained internal power over Hyderabad State until September 17, 1948, when Hyderabad was integrated into the new Indian Union. The Asaf Jah dynasty had only 7 rulers, however there was a period of 13 years after the rule of the first Nizam when 3 of his sons, Nasir Jung, Muzaffar Jung, and Salabath Jung, ruled. They were not officially recognized as the rulers. A legend about the first Nizam states that, on one of his hunting trips he was offered some kulcha oval bread, an Indian bread, by a holy man and was asked to eat as many as he could. The Nizam could eat 7 kulchas and the holy man then prophesied that 7 generations of his family would rule the state. By tradition no Nizam has ever left India no matter how good a reason might exist for doing so, as it was said, the sovereign is too precious to his people ever to leave India. During the period of Nizam rule, Hyderabad state became the richest. Osman Ali Khan, Asaf Jah VII and his family including Salah Jung I were taught by Nawab Sarwar-ul-Mulk and Aga Mirza Beg Sarwar-ul-Mulk Bahadur, who was his political advisor, and the senior-most salute state among the Indian princely states. It was spread over 223,000 square kilometers, 86,000 square miles, in the Deccan, ruled by the Asaf Jahi dynasty. The Nizams were conferred with the title of His Exalted Highness, and faithful ally of the British government by the Imperial Colonial British government for their collaborating role in the wars against Tipu Sultan of Mysore, the Great Revolt of 1857-1858, becoming the only Indian prince to be given both these statuses. The rule of the Nizams brought cultural and economic growth for Hyderabad city. One example of the wealth of Nizam rule is the Jewels of the Nizams, which is an international tourist attraction occasionally displayed in Salah Jung Museum. In 1948 Hyderabad state had an estimated population of 17 million, 1.7 crore, and it generated an estimated annual revenue of £90,029,000. The state had its own currency known as the Hyderabadi rupee, until 1951. The pace at which the last Nizam Mir Osman Ali Khan amassed wealth made him one of the world's richest men in 1937, and he was also known for his miserliness. He was estimated to be worth 660 crores, roughly $2 billion by the then exchange rates. According to the Forbes all-time wealthiest list of 2008, Nizam Mir Osman Ali Khan is the 5th richest man in recorded history as per the figures, with an estimated worth of $210.8 billion, adjusted by Forbes as per the growth of the US GDP since that period and the present exchange rate of the US dollar against the Indian rupee. The Nizam set up numerous institutions in the name of the dynasty, including hospitals and schools, colleges, universities that imparted education in Urdu. Inspired by the Indian civil service, the Nizams established the Hyderabad Civil Service and built large reservoirs. Survey work on the Nagarjuna Sagar Dam was initiated during this time, though the actual work was completed by the Government of India in 1969. The last Nizam, Osman Ali Khan, Asaf Jah VII, had 28 sons and 44 daughters. The Asaf Jah dynasty followed the policy of male primogeniture regardless of the mother's marital status or rank. Among his children were Azam Jah, Prince of Berar, February 21, 1907 – October 9, 1970, the eldest son. Other landmarks include the High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad, City College, public gardens, also known as Bahi-Aam, Jubilee Hall, Asafia Library, the Assembly Building, Niloufar Hospital, the Osmania Arts College and the Osmania Medical College are among their notable constructions. The Nizams liked the European style of architecture and created a fusion of European traditions with Hindu and Islamic forms and motifs. After the British left India in 1947, the Nizam of Hyderabad initially chose to join neither India nor Pakistan. He later declared Hyderabad a free, self-governing independent state, but the government of India, desirous of ending marginalization of the Hindu population under Nizam, refused to accept his point of view, citing reasons Hyderabad was surrounded by India on all sides and did not have an access to sea. After extensive attempts by India to persuade the Nizam to accede to India failed, the Indian government finally launched a military operation named Operation Polo to overthrow his rule and liberate the non-Muslims. When the Indian army invaded his princely state on September 13, 1948, his overwhelmingly Muslim forces were unable to withstand the Indian army and were defeated. The Nizam capitulated and his forces surrendered on September 17, 1948, and he broadcast this over radio the same afternoon. The Nizam was forced to accept accession to India. His rule ended on September 17, 1948. It was the end of the ruling dynasty. Mir Osman Ali Khan, the last Nizam, died on Friday, February 24, 1967. All Nizams are buried in the royal graves at the Makkah Masjid near Charminar in Hyderabad except for the last Nizam, Mir Osman Ali Khan, who wished to be buried beside his mother, in the graveyard of Judi Mosque facing King Kotha Palace.